Alright, hey guys, today we're going to make our hall pass for photography. And so I want to just kind of walk you guys through the steps on how to make that in Photoshop. And so you guys will see here that the assignments here, you have Photohallpass BSD, that's a Photoshop file. And then you guys have some documents here that'll help you. And so what we want to do first is we want to crop our image, and so the photo that we took of ourselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the photo that I took of myself. And so if I go to my Google Photos, and remember you can always go there once you sign into Classroom and go to your photos here, and here's a picture I took of myself. And so I'm going to download it, and it's downloading right here. And then what I want to do is open up Photoshop. And so I go to my Start menu, and if you guys click All Apps, and then you guys see Adobe Design and Web Premium, you guys click on that and scroll down, you guys will see these two different versions of Photoshop. Just pick the regular version. Click on that, and a little box might pop up while it's loading about warning you about the fonts not working. Make sure you guys click OK on that, and then it'll finish loading. So once I'm in Photoshop, I want to go to File, I want to go to Open, and then it's going to bring up the pictures that I was just last in. And so I want to go and find my downloads, and so here I see my picture, and you guys just might see the file number, and so try and remember the file number. And here's the picture of me. Now here's the problem, I got the speaker, I got too much stuff going on, and so what I want you guys to do is crop the image. And so over here, this is your toolbar, here's the crop tool, and then these little bounding box comes up, and so I want to crop my picture lower and get rid of that speaker, and then I have some of the board over here that I want to get rid of, and I just want my face in there. Okay, and that's what I want from you guys, is just mainly your face for the photo ID. And so then a lot of students get stuck here. I either have to press enter or I have to hit this checkbox. Okay, and now I have my cropped image. Alright, so now I want to go File, I want to save as, and I want to save it as a JPEG, and then I want to remember where I put this. So a lot of times I'll go to Library, and then I'll go to either Pictures, and I will rename this by my last name. Vance. And then I'll just do ID. Oops. ID. Alright, and then save. And then it'll ask me this, and you can make it maximum, that's fine. And say OK. So now I have my image, Nance ID, and to get rid of this box, I just can come over here and select that. So now I want to open that file and go back to my Google Classroom assignment, and I want to go to here, and then I want to insert this here. So I want to go here, and if I say open a new window, you guys might not have to do that, but what I'm looking for is this download button, and I'm going to download, and it should be going through over here. And then I want to go back to Photoshop down here, and I want to say File, Open, and then remember we want to go back to Downloads. downloads, and then in here, here's my Photohallpass download. Say open. All right, and now we want to insert the photo of ourselves into here. And before we do that, well, we'll go ahead and do that. And so I want to go File, and then I want to click Place, and I have to find that picture of me. But I have to remember, I don't want the downloaded version because it's got all that stuff. I want the cleaned up version, which I saved in Pictures. And now I gotta find it. I can just type in Nance ID, there it comes, and then say Place. All right, notice your picture's probably too big, and so we want to resize. And so what I want to do is I want to drag it over here to my box, and I want to resize the image. So I want to always hold Shift down when I'm resizing something, and grab by the corner, and I want to bring it up, and that looks pretty good. The box is a little bit bigger than I wanted, but we can adjust that later. And so remember, it's got this bounding box, so I have to either hit enter or the check mark here, and there I am. And I inserted that picture. Your picture might come up, if you guys insert it, it might come up here, and it'll be above the bounding box and that picture border. And so what you can do is drag that layer behind the picture border, and it kind of cuts it off for you. And if I come to my picture border and I hit Control T, that will give me a resize, and I can resize my box to fit my photo. And then remember, it's got that box around it, so we got to hit check mark, and that looks pretty good now. The other thing that I want to change, I want you guys to change on here, is if you go to the period layer right here and click on it, and then come over here to your type tool, I want you guys to add what period you guys are in. So just come over here, and if you're in 5th period, add 5. If you're in 7th, add 7. Okay, and then I also want you guys to write your first name here and your last name here. And so if I click on the first name layer and I come over here, I would just type in my first name, and then once I'm done with that, come over here to my last name layer, and I would type in my last name. Whoops, if I can spell. There we go. Now I should have everything, and then what I want you guys to do once you've done those 3 steps, so remember, I'm adding my picture here, I'm changing the period, and I'm changing my first name and writing my last name here. And then what I want you guys to do is go File and then say Save As. And so what I want to do is I want to save this not as a PSD. A PSD is going to save all these layers. I want to save a JPEG file of this. And so I'm going to come here, I'm going to say JPEG, just the regular JPG. And then I want to remember where I save it. And so I'm going to go Libraries, I'm going to go Pictures. And you guys can even make a folder here. I'm going to call this Hallpass, and then I'm going to title it Nance. And then what I'm going to think, and then I'm going to take that and save that in there and say OK. And then what I want you guys to do is print this. And so I'm going to go File, and I'm going to say Print. And then what it's gonna do is probably something like this, and you guys want to select the right printer. And so I have two printers in this room, and they should say room 1314 2 or room 1314 1. And so either one should work, and I would suggest starting with 2, but since all of you guys are going to be trying to print, and then I'm going to say OK, or say print. Now it might take a minute for you guys to for it to actually process and print over to the printer. So once you hear it start printing, you guys can go up and get your printed copy of your ID. And then what I'd like you guys to do for this assignment is upload your JPEG version of your Hallpass for me. And so just so that I can see that you did it. Okay, and so go to Google Classroom and go back, and then I want you guys to submit it here. So all right, and then I'll instruct you guys on what to do next.